Patients affected by the Johnson & Johnson faulty hip implants have written to the Health Ministry saying they will not participate in the compensation process. There are over 4,000 patients in India who've used faulty implants from Johnson & Johnson for their hip surgery. The pharma company suggested a compensation of 20 lakh rupees per patient. The letter from the patients, however, says that they are disappointed that no state-level committee was formed. They also said that there was lack of transparency and no clarity on which cases will get compensated. They further claim to be absolutely clueless about the exact discussions that are taking place between Johnson & Johnson and the government. So these are patients affected by Johnson & Johnson faulty hip implants, and they've written to the Health Ministry stating that they are not going to be part of the compensation process. We're speaking about over 4,000 patients in India who've used faulty implants from Johnson & Johnson for their hip surgery. The pharma company had suggested a compensation of 20 lakh rupees per patient. The letter from the patients, however, say that they are disappointed that no committee was formed. They said that there is lack of transparency. They have no clarity on which cases will get compensation, which won't. And they also claim to be clueless about the exact discussions that are taking place between Johnson & Johnson and the government. Amitha joining us live. She's been tracking the story very closely. For more on this, Amitha, so clearly the patients are not as satisfied. They are not at all satisfied with the process that's been taken by the state government. They say they are not going to be cooperating with the compensation process. They need clarity on what action really is going to be taken against the company here.
Well, absolutely. In fact, they're extremely unhappy with the central government. A letter has now been written to the Health Ministry as well, where they've clearly said that until a lot of information that they're seeking for in that particular letter with the Health Ministry, with the Central Committee, remember, that was formed earlier as well, that Central Committee was supposed to come out with the compensation process after this entire controversy snowballed here in India after other countries as well. They've said that unless they get this information, they will not be participating in the compensation process. To give you a quick background, Urvashi, at this point, a central committee was formed to figure out compensation for affected patients. Johnson & Johnson had alleged that over 4,700 patients have been affected here in India, and it was globally, this faulty implant device was globally recalled in 2010. However, it took 2 years. Reports and documents suggest that it took 2 years for India to suspend the license of this particular company. Post that, they were in talks with the government and state level committees were supposed to be formed. But in this particular letter, patients are now saying or alleging that state level committees have not yet been formed. They don't have any clarity on the kind of compensation, how many patients will be getting this compensation. So they say unless all of that information is out in public domain, they will not be participating.
All right, Amitha, Balachandra, thanks for getting us those updates there on the story.